I have a client that made $350,000 from one video. One video. So why is it that so many businesses seem to not start doing their content or tell me that this is difficult or overwhelming? I mean, I started this full time for businesses over a year ago. It was October 2024. I remember I had bought the ZVE10 that I'm filming on now, and I was on a trip to Florida, and that thing stayed in the box for a month. So I get on some level, it's complicated, it feels complicated. But when I sat down with this client who had been with me for a year now or so, I remember the immediate results that started coming from, like, he sent me a text and was like, hey dude, got my first 1,000 views. And then he just kind of nonchalantly the other month, he was like, this is the video that I got the deal from. He didn't realize it, but he's showing me a video that got him a $350,000 deal. I got a little testimonial that'll be out by the time this video goes out. I'll put a little clip in that here too. My point is, this is big for you guys, the home service businesses. And I've been sales and marketing operations for 12 years now, for large companies, for companies as small as $40 million and as large as $700 million. I've seen the impact on real businesses. So what I want you to do is to take this seriously, to figure out how it works in your business, to figure out how you can start getting ads running and getting videos running for your business so that you're generating more leads and closing more deals. So today I'm gonna run through, I think there's like 6 or 7 points here, got it on my night show looking placard, and I just wanna talk to you about what ads are, what videos are, what some of the learning curves are, and then get you started on your journey to your first deal. So welcome back to another episode of the Chad T podcast. This is the show for business owners doing 1 million to 6 million that want to do up to 12. And look, I want to be clear, this is not an earnings claim. The likelihood of you ever hitting $1 million a month is abysmally low, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. But again, I've worked for companies as small as 40 million, as large as 700 million. I have seen the money out there. There's money out there. There is business to be had by businesses that treat their business like a business, meet the market, generate leads, and get their deals closed. So if you apply yourself to some of this, you might, I can't promise you, but you might find a way to turn your business into a $12 million business, or even if you're at the $500K, $1 million mark, grow it into a $4 million business. I'm your host, Chad T. Let's get into it. Just yesterday, I was talking to a cleaning service, another cleaning service. They hit me up because of my work with Darian Jarrett. I like to talk to him a lot about his cleaning service in Jacksonville. And she wants to grow more leads for her business because when you're doing commercial contracts for a cleaning service, right, you can be a $4 million business. This stuff it's not crazy town. The client who got the $350K deal, he's a real estate builder. His homes cost $350 to build. So, and then they're worth $4 something. You come out with like $70K of forced equity. Fascinating subject. But you got to understand, first off, let's get right into the list. So you got to understand why you're doing it. Marketing is the same today, right, as it has been for years and years. You need to get in front of your target customer. You need to establish trust and rapport. And you want to make it clear to them that you have an offer that they're in market for. Those are the customers you want to sell to. Not necessarily convincing people to be in market, but people who are in market, you want to talk to them. So what has changed, even in my limited evolution since I guess you could say the 2000s, when I was in it, print media was the way you went. Blogs took over. There was a blogosphere. YouTube started really dominating somewhere around 2012. I think the writing was on the wall. A lot of these bloggers were like, oh, we got to be on video. And not everyone made the transition, like not everyone, when we went from radio to TV, not everyone made that transition, but was radio and TV both entertainment? Yes. So you see what I'm saying here? So my point is, you're in the age now of two things. One, you're in the age of video being as accessible as your smartphone. I got a lot of videos where I'm showing you guys how to just whip out your smartphone and start talking about what you do. And then also you're in the age of AI, which is important because all these channels are going to get really crowded with shallow messaging. And listen, I love AI. I use it all the time. I've got prompters to identify hooks. When I'm done with this video, I didn't have time today, but I could have scanned this in and said, write a better outline for me. When I'm done with this video, I'll take the whole script and say, what's the hook? What's the title, etc. So But in the world of AI, if you use it a lot, you'll start recognizing people, there's a little pattern to it. You know, I can tell the people who aren't adjusting it themselves. There'll be like audacious claims in it with an M dash and then like a bunch of emojis, and it's all clear to read. There's nothing wrong with clear to read, but you got to personalize this some a little bit. My point is, when you hear me talk, do I sound like AI talking to you right now? No, I sound like Chad. Do you believe that I have 10 plus years doing this for large businesses? Yes. If you've consumed a few of these videos at this point, you probably believe it. You can go look at my LinkedIn, you can go look at my website, you can go see my history. It's true. So you start to build and establish trust rapport with real people. Well, CJ, the builder, he establishes trust in this local community, and he gets on his phone. This is a really slick trick too. He talks to the back of the camera, which I encourage everyone to, but he does a thing where the property will be behind him, right? And so he starts talking to the camera, and then he transitions this to the property, right? Now all of a sudden on the screen, you're seeing the actual property. Super slick. But anyway, it doesn't look like AI. It doesn't look like fancy AI. So why you need to do this is because you need to establish trust and rapport with your market, and they need to know that you exist. Your business deserves attention, and your prospects deserve to know that you're there to serve them, to serve the market. So specifically, in the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about shooting these videos, but I want to talk to you about the paid ad side, because CJ is running dollar bills behind his video. And the cleaning service gal who reached out to me, same thing. She wants to be running paid ads. So there's one big thing that's changed on paid ads, and this is really important. This is the first point. Facebook, the trillion-dollar market cap organization, is so good at knowing what you're likely to do on the platform that they will serve you ads where the call to action meets your tendencies. So what I mean is, if you just go boost a post, right, to get more views, or if you just go run a campaign that says send a bunch of traffic to my webpage, you're going to get a bunch of junk, because Facebook is going to send it to people who they know will mindlessly touch the button, or they know will mindlessly just watch the view. So is that good or that bad? I don't know. It's good because the algorithms are serving you what you asked for. It's bad because if you want to make money, you got to be more sophisticated about it. So my point is, first understand how it's working. Traffic links, total garbage. The next best option, in my opinion, is an instant lead form. And again, I want to be clear early on, because there's a lot of snippety ad guys out there that say, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's junk. A lot of you guys are going to start with $20, $50 a day. A lot of you guys, honestly, I talk to some of you, you're scared to spend $300 a month. So my point is, you're starting off small. In an ideal world, which I'm going to talk about at the very end of this, in an ideal world, you want to be in a tech stack where you're sending traffic to a professional landing page, not your website. I'm talking something like ClickFunnels, Kajabi, Circle, whatever you're trying to close. So you're sending traffic to a professional landing page, is monitoring what's happening, and then you have the pixel, the Facebook pixel installed, and then you have these standard events configured. So Facebook knows if the person hit the page, submitted your lead form, and then got to the other side, and that you generated a lead or you booked a call. All of those are standard events. When you optimize for those in a sophisticated world, you are maximizing your dollar bills. Facebook is going to find people now that are most likely to get all through those steps and book that call. Does that make sense? As opposed to now, what you're likely doing where you're just running traffic, boosting posts, or putting these instant lead forms. But my point is, every step you take in the right direction is a good thing. So unlike a lot of people, I'm not here to crap on you if you just want to run a lead form. In fact, that's the next step that I recommend here, and that is what the home builder is running right now. We'll make some improvements to that, to be clear, but you got to start somewhere, and the farther you can get away from trash, the better. Does that make sense? So why run ads? I get this one a lot. This is almost a debate. This is outside the scope of most of you guys running home service businesses. You probably don't even think about this, but there's two worlds. There's something called organic, and then there's something called paid traffic. So paying for it is me putting dollar bills behind the videos on my very small branded account, right? Gulf Coast Ad Experts, because it's new. Why put dollar bills behind that to get it in front of you? Paying for it is using the system to deliver your message to a target audience. Organic is this hope of going viral in a TikTok world or an Instagram world. The problem is a lot of you guys look like me. You're middle-aged, you wear polos, you drive around in branded trucks. Well, listen, you're not in a bikini in South California dancing to a TikTok video. Are you tracking? And I don't mean that disparagingly. I'm just saying, unless you're putting some ridiculous stuff out there, your goal really isn't to get millions of views. The other day, I had a video that went out. It's only got 132 views on it. I got 2 leads from that. 2 people, genuine people, not bots, called me up and said, hey, I want to run ads. Can you help me? Well, did that video go viral? No. In fact, it was kind of embarrassing. Like, I've had 20K on video views before. I get stuck in the vanity metrics too, but I know, because I've been revenue operations for 12 plus years now, I know that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is your revenue. The only thing that matters is you generating more leads and getting more sales. So that video was a success to me. In fact, this video talking about how to start running ads is a spin-off of that video, because I paid attention to my organic and said, okay, people want to know how to start it. That one talked about running your first ad for like $132. Okay, secondly, what content should you put in your ad? Listen, I personally don't understand why this is so confusing, but let me practice empathy. I've been in a leadership group in my church recently. They've been talking a lot about charity and empathy, and I'm low on both of those. Let me try empathy. I don't understand why this doesn't make sense, because you recognize phony. You yourself, think about the guys at the mall or Target that bust up in on you and they're like, hey, can I ask you a question? You know that they're trying to sell you cell phone plans, or the guys that knock on your door and they're trying to sell you alternative energy options or whatever. Like, you know what they're doing. It doesn't feel genuine and authentic, right? It is an unwelcome interruption, and you don't want it. So why, pray tell, why, when you start marketing, do you decide that you need to talk the same way, right? What prospects want to see is you actually doing what you do. So if you do roof repair or roof installs, they want to see you showing up in your clean truck. They want to see you not disheveled. They want to see you talking to your employees, to your staff, to your contractors, right? Like, oh my God, he's really in business. They want to see you on the roof. They want to see you shaking hands with smiling customers and prospects. They want to know that you actually do what you're doing. CJ, when he does this little thing, the back of the phone to the home, they love these freaking videos. Why? Because you can't fake that funk. There's a lot of B-roll that I'm going to start lacing in to mine too, where I'm shaking CJ's hand. You're going to see me using the camera on CJ. Because why? Because you guys want to see me actually doing it. So I do the podcast behind the desk because it's comfortable, it makes sense, it's a controlled environment, but your customers want to see you actually doing what you do. So the content you should put out is what you do. This is called 2 things. First off, in a Donald Miller story brand paradigm, which is a great book, you should go look it up, Story Brand. This is called Images of Success. And the example he uses is like a hotel. What if the hotel just had a bunch of pictures of the outside of the hotel? Look how tall we are. Look how shiny our windows are. Look how cool the bush is in the front of our hotel. It seems logically like that's good marketing, right? Okay, now contrast that to like what Hilton or Marriott actually does, and they have the attractive, sort of affluent couple walking on the beach, and half of them have a daughter in their hands, right? And the woman's attractive, but is she in a super sexy bikini? No, she's in a one piece. She's in a slightly conservative, because they want to show you what the real images of success look like, and they're hitting their target demographic. I don't even mean by race. I've seen this with black couples, Asian couples, white couples. They're just trying to get into the success narrative of your head. And then all of a sudden you think about Hilton because you'd rather be on a beach, because you want that beautiful wife by your side that looks attractive in her bathing suit. And you guys are walking down and smiling, and like, your baby's not crying her eyeballs out, and your wife's hair isn't all frazzled, and you're not stressed because this is the 3rd time you had to put her on the potty and she's not actually pottying. Do you know what I mean? So think images of success and ask yourself what those images of success are. For the cleaning lady, images of success are her walking around with these building managers pointing to how good it looks, or people sitting comfortably in the environment, or her walking around with the tour showing a sparkling clean environment. For CJ, images of success are him showing the finished product, or him shaking hands with the investors. For the roofer, images of success are showing a good-looking roof on a good-looking house with a super happy old couple that just did their insurance claim and got themselves restored, right? That's the content you should be putting out. Do not, broken ads equal broken business. Do not start getting on there and throwing big logos everywhere, big phone numbers, and changing your voice. And look, even the guy who made this super successful video and got the 350,000, I still have to talk with him sometimes and be like, hey, CJ, you're kind of selling. You're in your marketing voice. Do you know what I mean? Just show the property and just make yourself available. So don't go in there and try to be extra. That's the Gen Z term, right? Don't try to be all crazy. The other point on this is, next to the images of success, I also call it success flexing. So another misconception that the guys our age have in businesses like yours and mine is we think that success on social media is like all this social media dancing or being a smoking hot girl on social media. What I'm telling you is that success flexing is running your business. You are successful, right? Think about, I was telling this to the cleaning guy. Think about if you're walking around a building at 10 a.m. showing the manager the clean results. The guy that's doing that video, even better if someone's holding the camera on you and you're not holding yourself, right? Does that make sense? Does he have a day job and he just slipped out to do that video? Probably not, right? That's a success flex. He's doing what he did. So you don't need a G-Wagon, even though they're great. But if you have your branded truck and it pulls up to the property and you're looking over the site, that's a success flex. That's what your customers want to see. They want to build trust in you. They want to know that you're a real pro. So the building guy has this amazing video where he's doing his selfie thing. And I don't think he planned this. It just worked out great. His branded van was in the back corner, right? One of his employees drove behind him in the branded truck. And I was like, man, I couldn't have scripted or directed that video better if I tried, because it just looked like this parade of branded vehicles behind them, right? That's a success flex. So shift your mind around what it means to flex on camera and start showing you do what you do for a living. And I'm gonna pause for just a moment because I want to hammer this home. What kind of content should you be doing? You should be the content. I just hired a photographer to come out on Friday. She got photos of me working, photos of CJ. She got us doing the video because that is what I do, right? That's what I do for you guys. But if you're a roofer, hire these photographers to take quick little videos of you. They can shoot with their camera and then take B-roll on the phone. I did an editing spot for my brother who's been taking his AI company on a public speaking tour. His wife was following around getting B-roll from him. Well, they dumped it all on me, and I'm editing that and getting them amazing content because those images of success make him look trustable and relatable. Do you know what I mean? Okay. All right, third, how do you start on ads? Step number one on ads is counterintuitive. Run organic video first. And what do I mean by organic? Let's do the builder. Pulls out the phone, camera behind him. Hey, we're standing here behind our Spain unit. I really love building these. They cost about $325K to build. We found this lot 4 months ago, I think, and we were able to get the team on site doing the foundation within a week. We finished this one within 90 days, and that's actually kind of typical for our normal builds, right? Let me show you a little bit more about the building. Bam, bam, beautiful, right? Corner tops. And really, honestly, you just need 70 grand cash to get in this. And if you can get financing from the bank to get the other part of the 325, when we're done building this, you took your 70 grand and you turned it into 140. So you got forced equity of 70K and essentially doubled your 70K. Isn't that crazy? Look, we're taking on a dozen of these this year. And I want to talk with you. If you're interested, comment down below or send me a message. Okay. Do you see what I just literally made that up. There was no AI, I didn't need to read a script. I just talked about what he does. Same thing for you with the roofer. We just got on site, we're in Plaquemine Parish. The parish is running a new program where they will let us restore your roof for free to you, right? We do all the paperwork, they chase us down. We wanna talk to you. If you see us out in town, we're called Legacy Roofing, look us up. So don't overthink this. Run organic first, put that on your social media, because it's gonna show you what's working. It's gonna let you know what they resonate with. Here's an example. I talk a lot about cost per click, pixels, some technical things. And while it does get views, what gets more views is when I talk to you about this, about how to start these videos, about the tripod that I've got that's $37 that I stand my phone on, and about how these Hollyland lavalier microphones are $88 on Amazon, and they pick up sound beautifully. And oh, by the way, there's 2 of them, so you can mic up 2 of them. So these are very popular. So what do I do on my organic? I run more of it, right? Because I want to give you, because you have signaled to me the overall viewership, what's important to you. And then in doing that, by answering those questions, I get you into the funnel where you're consider bringing me on as a managed service for your ads for $5,000 a month, or you're joining my community for $1,200 to $2,000 a year. Does that make sense? So it's not unintentional, but the organic is pointing me in the correct direction. Same thing. When I look at the builders' videos, they love it when he's in front of the building and doing like this home and garden television tour, right? So does he need to then go behind his desk, set up this little setting like I have, right? And then just talk about the investment principles of duplexes? No, he needs to do a lot more of what's already working. So step number 1, run organic first. 4th point, once you know what is working on your organic side, use that to start putting traffic behind it. And I don't mean a boosted post. Listen, if that's the only thing you can muster in your creativity is a boosted post, then by all means, get more attention, just start getting familiar with the ads manager. But what I want you to do is know that the videos that are getting all this viewership, they're gonna do good on ads, right? So you can either film it again, or you can run the same one and put a little text overlay on it. I was helping out the builder client. He ran an image ad, which we're gonna get to next. There's nothing wrong with that. But he didn't put any text on the image. So you have to understand that it's organically, if it worked well, that's good. But now when we're in specific direct response marketing, we wanna be very clear. This home costs $320,000 to build, and it delivers $2,100 a month in rent times 2, because it has 2 doors. If you want one, message below. Do you know what I mean? So on the ad, you can say, this home delivered $4,200 in rent. Does yours? You know, whatever. But you just want more than just the image there. My point is, take that organic that was working, re-edit it to put a headline on there, re-edit it to have a very specific call to action, start running that as your ads. Then, if you're super confused on that, you can run image ads. I did videos about this a month ago or so. I ran 7 of these when I was first getting started. Because 1, you can test your headlines, you get very quick responses. The bottom line here is if it's cheaper to show your image to the audience, that means that the audience likes it. So this is a better headline. I had other headlines like, don't be the only lead generator, or you deserve XYZ. Anyway, you guys like broken ads equal broken business better. And there's another one where I say run ads, grow your business. Both of those work. So that's what I printed out. But my point is, if you need to start now and you're nervous about the video and you haven't reached out to me yet, you can start creating images in Canva. You can create these in your Instagram stories. So you can run an image ad. There's nothing wrong with it. And in an ideal situation, when we're running your campaigns, we'll have multiples of those set up, right? Images and videos. The bottom line on images, though, to be clear, images are easily consumed and easily ignored. So they will fatigue quicker. Whereas a good video of you authentically holding this thing up, standing in front of it, explaining to them, has a tremendous shelf life. So, a lot to be said about that. Now, number 5 here, this is really important. I want you to understand that there are multiple conversions you can optimize for in your ads. And we're about to get super technical here. So I apologize for anyone where your head starts hurting if you're technical. If you want help with this, you can always reach out to me. Please shoot me a comment, email me at sales@gulfcoastadexperts.com, or message me on Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of me. But bear with me for a little bit, because I want you to understand. I want you to envision, I want you to think about this in like the project management world. You have objectives in each of your jobs, right? If you're a plumber, you want to stop the leak, or you're laying new rough plumbing, right? You're doing a rough in, or you're doing a smooth out. Those are objectives. They matter. You're not going to treat smooth finishing the same way that you do your rough in, because you don't want to jack up the beautiful new investment home that was built, right? By sending gigantic hammers in there, or people with dirty boots jacking the place up. That's different than when you're digging ditches or running pipes. Are you guys tracking me? I know I'm throwing analogies all over here. So on Facebook, there are things called traffic objectives. There are things called instant lead forms. There are things where you can have them send you a message if they see you ad. There are things where they'll send you to a call funnel, and you can start optimizing for not just hitting the page, but lead conversions, as in they filled out a form, or booked a call, as in they hit a Calendly link. I know I'm talking tech speak here, but bear with me. So the further down into your funnel, that's what they call that, all these steps that your prospect takes, the further down into your funnel, the more optimized you are, the wiser you are spending your dollar bills. Does that make sense? The shallower you are, the higher up here, you're spending a lot of money, but there's no friction on the interaction. So you have zombies that are responding to it. So keep this in mind. I want you to think about the intention that comes with friction. If you were to get a $100,000 grant from the Small Business Administration, all you had to do was fill out 40 pages of an application. That's high friction, right? If it was just a form that was like, what's your name, your email, and your phone number, click submit, all kinds of people would fill that out, right? Now, but because there's 40 pages, and they're gonna ask you for some bank statements and character references, and they wanna know where your kids go to school, a lot more friction there, right? So who's gonna get on the other side of that funnel? The people with the most intention are gonna get on the other side of that funnel. And for you guys, I'm talking to you guys now, the home services, the blue collar type industries, you need a balance of friction and strong intention. So CJ was telling me that he's getting lots of leads on his form, and Facebook is telling them, oh, your leads are very cheap, so he didn't turn it off. All right, well, he's getting very cheap leads because, one, his form auto-populates from the data Facebook has, and it only has 3 fields on it. It's like name, email, and I don't even think it's phone number. You just click continue. Okay, so on the friction spectrum, that is low, right? So you don't need a lot of intention to get through it. So yes, you're getting a lot of leads, CJ, but because there's no friction involved, you're getting a bunch of essentially zombie leads. So for you guys, as your first step, skip traffic. You can send them to messages, that's fine, but I want to see you guys try to figure out your instant lead forms, and then we'll talk about the advanced version here in a minute. I want you to create more friction in the form by unchecking the auto-populate. So if someone wants to put their name in there, they're gonna have to type it. By making some fields required that are relevant to your offer. So for example, on the investment property guide, the next thing he does is he sends them a video about the cash requirements, right? He doesn't get a lot of responses back on that. Well, put that in your form. So if there's name and phone number, and you have a question along the lines of, do you have $100,000 of available capital that you could get from a 401k or you could get from savings? If that answers no, you're kind of wasting your time for that prospect and for you. Also, it will wean out. Less people will finish. They'll be like, oh, wow, I didn't know we were talking, I didn't know we were in the 70K world. So too much friction, you won't get enough leads, or your cost per lead will be too expensive, but you've got to add in a certain amount of friction so that you're not just getting, not even tire kickers, just people that want to look at a nice Porsche, show up at the Porsche dealership and be like, hey, I want to take a test drive on that. If you're the roofing business and you're in Plaquemine Parish, you could put that on there. Have you filed your initial complaint with Plaquemine Parish? Yes or no? So these are things that you want to build into your forms so that the leads that you actually get, so you're not just sifting through 300 dummy leads, right? So then maybe you only get 10 leads, but these guys are better qualified. This is really important. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's an advanced way to do this. Let me put that differently. There's a correct way to do this. Most of you guys, the overwhelming majority of you, need to be in what's called a call funnel. There's a temptation that I want to warn you against, and my builder friend was bringing this up. He wanted to go in what's called a low to high ticket funnel. That's all. People sometimes have heard about lead magnets. I'm going to offer a free guide about checking if you have asbestos in your home, so I get their email address. Well, look, I want to say, we'll have to do another video about this, but it's kind of dead. It's not as important as you think it is. Facebook's tracking them anyway. Don't sweat the email so much. We do want it, but we only want it on people that are well qualified or serious. So low ticket to high ticket would work for me. If I was selling you a $147 quick start guide that will walk you from which gear to buy for your first video, how to set up lighting, how to script yourself, the 7 best scripts that have worked for me over the last 450 videos that I've done, how to not sound automated on video, what to do if you run out of ideas, where to film yourself, when to use your phone. If I had a $147 course for you guys, that's a low ticket offer, knowing that I'm trying to get you into my $5,000 a month managed service. So I could work you in from that, then to the community for $2,000 a year, $2,347 a year or something. And then ultimately my main goal is to have clients that pay $5,000 a month to run their ads for them. So that's low ticket to high ticket. It's congruent for me. It's highly congruent for me. For the guy that builds $350,000 investment properties, it's less congruent. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but what I'm saying is it's shifting you away, and it doesn't get the right prospect. Even if you were to say my low ticket is a $500 investment seminar, that's still someone that managed to put $500 on a credit card, right? Do they actually have $70K available? Do they have $400,000 in their 401k and they can borrow half of it with no questions asked? Do you know what I mean? So what I want you guys to think about in the home services is a call funnel. What you're trying to do is get people to go through a series of steps. You want them to watch a video of yours. And then as you notice that people watched over 5 seconds of that video, you start targeting them. This is sophisticated hat now, right? You're gonna retarget them with calls to action. Like, did you like this Spain model? We could build this now. Do you have 100K available to invest? Fill out the form below. When they click learn more, it's gonna send you to a real landing page on something like ClickFunnels that's just dialed in, and you can measure every single aspect of it, from the headline to the video that you're gonna use to if you use a type form submit, you can present one question at a time so that people don't just see 17 questions and bounce, right? And then when it gets to the other side of that submission, then that Facebook pixel is gonna recognize this person just completed the form, their lead. If they go on and schedule a call, then they scheduled a call, they booked a call. So all these standard conversions you can start tracking, and you can flood these guys with informational products now to make sure that they make it to your call. Do you know what I mean? That's an ideal world, and I've probably lost just 75% of you. But all I want you to understand in that is there is a sophisticated way to do this, and your goal should be to be setting up these call funnels so that you get into a world, listen to me now, this is gonna be sticker shock for a lot of you guys, so that you get into a world where you are spending 100K a month and making 300K back in deals, right? If you can swallow that as a paradigm or pill, you're spending 100K a month on ads, and then one deal, in this case, in our prior example, one deal from that, 300K a month. Well, now you figure out how to get 3 deals from that. Now you figure out how to get 4 deals from that. So now you're at 1.2 million, right, per month. Is that how math works? Now you're in the 12 million club. Are you tracking me? This is really big, and it's not super complicated math. We've got a little whiteboard here. I don't even plan on doing this. Do I have pens? 300K. Is it on the board? Boom. Times 1. You spent 100K to get it, right? You net 200K that month. I call this the nickel box. If you could put a nickel in a box, crank the handle, and out came a dime, how many times a month would you crank the handle? As many freaking times as you can. Okay, so now you grossed 300K, right? We're gonna make the math very simple. So now you figure out how to scale. So you spend 100K to make 300K. What if you could figure out how to get 4 of these by spending 400K? So now you got 300K times 4, you are at $1.2 million bills. You tracking me? You're a $12 million a year business now. Congratulations. Okay, and if you think that I am full of hot air, I want to remind you, I have done this for companies $40 million to $700 million. That's how they do it. It's not a freaking mystery. They get on the board and they figure out how many sellers do they need to close X amount of deals. How many leads do they need to generate to get through their close percentage so they can get X amount of deals, right? So you need 48 deals per year, and you are freaking through the roof on your revenue. So you started with organic, right? But then it goes into paid ads, and paid ads are what make the difference. And for you, I'm gonna give you a challenge now. Pull out your phone, turn it on you, go to wherever you work, and just talk about it. Then put that out on social media. and just say on-site doing this. If you're a plumber, don't forget to check your XYZ. It'll save you $10,000 of me having to come out and fix it, right? So then you're building trust and rapport. Then find out what works. Put dollar bills behind it. Run those ads. Figure out how you can make $300K with $100K, and then do that as much as possible. If you like this video, I want you to hit like and subscribe. If you want to work together, leave me a comment on the video. Email me at sales@gulfcoastadexperts.com. Leave me a message on Instagram. I would love to talk to you. I'll see you in the next one.